Welcome to another edition of Heaven and Hell. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan, so I think we'll rename it Kevin and Hell. Bowling Alley Massacre. There's been another mass shooting in America. These tragic events happen far too often. Robert Card, 40 years old, he's a weapons expert who's had mental health issues. He went on the rampage, burst into the bowling alley in a place called Lewiston in Maine. That's sort of on the northeast coast of America, and went berserk with an AR-15 military-style automatic rifle, felling people as they enjoyed a night at the bowling. He also burst into a bar where they were having a sort of singing karaoke night and killed people in there as well. Now, easy to say, oh, come on, these gun laws in America, they're ridiculous. This happens all the time. Bearing in mind that, by the way, more than 500 people have now been killed in these kind of shootings in America this year alone. We in Britain, across the Atlantic, we look and go, my God, no wonder everybody's dying. You can buy guns so easily in America. Well, here's the thing. The Second Amendment is very sacred to Americans, and that is the right to bear arms. That's about the power of the individual over the state. In the end, you are responsible for your own defense. So we might say, stop all these people being able to buy these guns. In America, it's in their DNA. They never ever will. I think what these stories are really about are not the availability of weapons, because you can get weapons almost anywhere in the world. Look, we've had Dunblane, we've had Hungerford, people got weapons here in Britain. It's not about availability of weapons, it's about the American psyche. These gunmen, it's nearly always men by the way, who go on the rampage and in a way definitely ending their life, even if they die or they go to prison for the rest of their lives. They're sort of ending their lives. They want to make a name for themselves. They want people to know who they are. And that's why they do it. They do this to become famous in their final hours, if you like. And there is the problem. There is the problem. It's something to do with the American condition. These shootings do happen in other countries. We've had our own, but 99.9% of them happen in America with monotonous regularity. And if that's not a form of hell, I don't know what is. The battle begins. I am, of course, talking about the escalating tension in the Middle East as Israel, with thousands and thousands of troops on the border of Gaza, looks as if it's all set to roll in a full-scale invasion. Now, already we've seen the biggest incursion, looked like 100 tanks or so, a lot of tanks rolling in to Gaza from the north. Now, you've seen all around the world, particularly the EU, various countries, the United Nations, urging caution, urging restraint. Don't go rolling into Gaza. Please stop bombing Gaza. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. That's the problem. With all due sympathy and tears for the innocent people in Palestine who are getting killed, for the children, the women who are getting killed in this relentless rain of bombing, which Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, described as hellfire. We are raining hellfire on Hamas, which they are. That isn't going to stop because Israel is avenging what happened to its people. America stands with Israel. Britain still backs Israel's right to defend itself, which is what this is about. So the hell of this situation is, while countries, people all over the world are calling for an end to the slaughter of the innocents, that's what's happening. They're collateral damage, these non-combatants who are getting killed by the Israeli bombings, and no doubt many of them will kill when the invasion happens. When they say, stop it, let's have a ceasefire, Well, Israel's in no mood for a ceasefire, and this will carry on. The land invasion will happen no matter what the UN says, no matter what Macron or the EU says, the invasion is going to happen. Israel will complete this mission, and the tragedy, the hell of all of this is innocent civilians are going to get killed. They already are being killed in their thousands. There's no end to this for many, many months, probably years. Again, sheer hell. Caught red-handed. Now, I don't know if any of you have been injured in the rush and the crush to get hold of a copy of Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves's eagerly awaited book, The Women Who Made Economics. Can't wait to get hold of my copy. But if you do manage to get a copy, and by the way, I don't think it'll be that difficult. I don't think this will make the bestseller list somehow. It'll be in the Remainer box pretty damn soon. But the point is, you may get a sort of familiar feeling as you read through it, because Rachel has been accused of wholesale plagiarism. There are 20 examples, as found by the Financial Times, of paragraphs, sentences, phrases that are clearly taken from other sources without acknowledgement. Sometimes it's exactly the same wording for a paragraph or two. Others, very, very slight changes. There's a foreword by Hilary Benn, which is not properly accredited, and so on and so forth. Now, Rachel Reeves has furiously denied this, although both her people and the publishers have said, well, you know, we didn't do plagiarism, we did make some mistakes and they are being rectified. Sounds like a bit of an admission to me. If you're going to write a book and you're the Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer, you better know that even though The Women Who Made Economics is hardly likely to break all records at the bookshop tills, people will notice it. You're the Shadow Chancellor. They will have a look at it. Journalists will look at it. And frankly, Rachel should have been a bit more careful here. Yes, caught red-handed. Pretty hellish for poor Rachel, but for journalists, for everyone really, it's really good fun, isn't it, when these people get caught out like this. So let's call it heaven. No vacancies. Yeah, there's going to be fewer hotel rooms available for migrants as they continue to pour across the channel in dinghies and small boats. Hitherto, they've been billeted at all sorts of four-star hotels, spa hotels, hotels with golf courses, and a lot of hotels in these really nice country areas, you know, those kind of hotels that used to be stately homes. So some of them have got these really grand places they've been staying at. Well, the government has spotted that this kind of situation is not that popular with the people. They actually want the migrants, they've got to be put somewhere, I guess, but they don't want them to be in such plush conditions. They don't want them to be in these four-star hotels. So the government says, right, we're going to move all the migrants out of the 50 best country hotels they're currently staying in, and we're going to put them in cheaper joints. So I guess these people currently staying in golf course mansions with spas and swimming pools can expect soon to be staying in Premier Inns. But the point is, you know, okay, we'll go, yeah, why are they staying in these £300 a night hotels? That's not right, and we're right to think that. But this is just headline chasing by the government, because the truth is there are 170,000 asylum seekers in this country, all over the country, waiting for their applications to stay, to be processed. And many of them are staying in more than 400 hotels that are completely full of migrants. So to say we're moving 50 of them out to slightly cheaper hotels is hardly a game changer, is it? But I think for people who live near these places, near these hotels, that's a kind of heaven. But in terms of the government trying to con us into believing that this will solve the migrant crisis, this will solve the problem of us spending £8 million every night to accommodate migrants and asylum seekers, that's hell, because it's not true. It is literally just chasing positive headlines. And if you read beyond the headlines, if you think beyond the headlines, this is a kind of hell. Royal Family Guy. The American cartoon series Family Guy has jumped into the fray and joined the party. Not long after, of course, South Park, the cartoon, ruthlessly took the mickey out of Harry and Meghan, mocking their desire for privacy, which they seem to court obsessively. They don't really want privacy, they want money, and that doesn't involve privacy. And you remember they went on a Canadian chat show in South Park with placards saying, "We want privacy, we want privacy." Then they appear on television demanding privacy. There's something counterintuitive about that. Anyway, now Family Guy, the American cartoon, has joined the party and also ruthlessly mocked the gruesome twosome from Montecito. There they are, lying by their swimming pool, receiving from the butler a check for $250,000 from Netflix that they know not what it's for. We don't know what this is for, but here you are. And that, of course, plays right into the Netflix deal, which many people apparently at Netflix don't think has been worth the money. It's worth $100 million or something. Don't forget Spotify gave them $20 million and all they got out of that was 12 podcasts that nobody liked or very few people listened to from Meghan called Archetypes. Now that they've ditched that, they've ditched their deal with the royal duo from California, they've gone back into profit. So they lost a lot of money over that, and other people like Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. They did all these celebrity podcasts, didn't make them any money. They're boring, earnest, virtue signaling projects. So they ditched them all, and now Spotify is back in profit. But you know, they still deserve what they're getting from Family Guy. And this is an interesting indication, because if you talked about this a year ago, what you'd have got is the fact that Brits are really sick of this couple. They don't like us, we don't like them. Stay in California, never come back, we don't like you. Meanwhile, the Americans say, oh, this fresh and vibrant young royal couple, we love them, and they're woke and they're forward thinking. Anyway, have a look at South Park, and now have a look at Family Guy, and from that you can work out the truth now, that America has changed. The worm has turned in America, and Americans now despise Harry and Meghan almost as much as we do. Despise, yeah, we do really, don't we? That's why the cartoons are coming down on Harry and Meghan like a ton of bricks. Kind of hell for them. I'm sorry, I'm hedging my bets a lot today, but it's hell for Harry and Meghan, but it's heaven for us, because it's funny. That's it for another edition of Heaven and Hell, or Kevin and Hell. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.